All right, hey everyone. This is the heroes putting forth their own little post-draft analysis. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves and then dive right into our thoughts following what seemed to be a pretty eventful draft, especially as it's the largest one so far. To start off with, I'm Quinn Shaper, manager of the Bob Q's, um, and I'll pass it off to Henry Bird.
Dude, I love that you're just the bog cues this year.
I gotta really dive deep into the brand for certain.
I'm Henry Bird, or just Bird, because why the fuck wouldn't you call me that? I am the manager of the Las Vegas Lycan Rocks, and the goal is to maybe get close to going even this year. That's the goal.
It's gonna
I hope so. I'll pass it off to Espo. So Zach for last.
I'm Tyler Esposito, better known as probably Espo. I'm the manager of the Hartford Whalers, and I'm looking forward to another good split this year. So I'll pass it off to Zach.
And I am Zach, honorary hero, longtime coach of the Toronto Bay Leafs, and currently sitting out for this split.
The legend himself.
One-time
the greatest split of all time.
Championship winner.
That split.
That was back in like 2016.
Those days.
But anyway,
we need to. I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I feel like at some point we need to make like a history of the MWPL because there's so many splits that I just have heard stories of.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. There'd be like a whole section just devoted to Tickle.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, so I guess to start, we'll look at. We're just gonna go in order of the team sheet, and so we're gonna look at Calvin Toma and the Sacramento Nido Kings. Oh, and also I guess to preface all of this, the way we're going to be looking at the teams is by either why we think they're going to be winning or why we think they're going to be losing, or maybe a combination of both. But that's just like a little basis for our thoughts diving into it. But yeah, starting off with Calvin, Nido Kings, first pick overall.
Obviously goes Urshifu. Obviously.
Yes.
I don't know, dude. I was worried when like everyone was talking that Urshifu would go first. I didn't know how the draft was going to line up, and so I kind of felt like people could make teams that would beat it. But I feel like Cal kind of built himself a good team around it. Like he got Como at 7th. Yeah, like that was yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but just like based off on paper, I think he has a really solid team, personally.
I would tend to agree. I think, like you said, Kamau at 7 was a really good pickup, and that was like one of a couple things that fell pretty far that I didn't really expect. I also really like Jirachi and Mega Venusaur. I think that those are just two powerful things that like you don't even need them to work together by themselves. They can be good. And plus the thick fat would benefit the Jirachi as well. Yeah, it's a good team.
Plus, yeah, Swampert and Moltres really cover each other too. Like good defensive core there. Plus you got U-turn and flip turn, so you can kind of set up your hard hitters.
Yeah, definitely. I think he did a really good job of like spreading out his team offensively. I think there's team mons that are like either fully or attacking focused, some that are really special attack focused, but also like he's some mons that can like really do both. And I think like Jirachi and Kamao, those things are going to be really hard to prep for.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
super important to not have too many physical or special in your draft.
Yeah, for sure. I do think one thing I would be a little, if I were him, I'd like take a, I don't know, maybe not worried about, but just like focus on is that he does have a bit of a flying weakness, which I know he knows about. But also like his team, like it's a little bulky, but I don't think it's like bulky to the point where it like can stop something that's like run like a setup mon. I think certain things could run through it pretty easily, and so it's going to be based. I think a lot of it's going to be for him trying to just play around it and just have to outplay people. But I think the team for the most part is good enough to like not have to deal with that.
Yeah. One other thing I'd knock it for is I feel like his team is like just like slower than he would want it to be. Like, he doesn't have anything over base 100 speed except for Raikou.
Yeah, he is
I don't
one
know.
of
It's
the.
just hard to be slow, especially in
My other concern would be he only has one defogger, like rapid spin back, which might be an issue.
That is what I was going to point out. That Moltres is super critical to his team because not only is it his only way to get rid of any hazards, but if that thing dies, you have Jirachi. Is Mega Venusaur weak to ground? Slowking Galar, Raikou, is it not? It's neutral. But either way, ground just becomes way better against this team once that Moltres is out. It hits a lot of his team at least neutral. So I'd be worried about that.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about it. But yeah, hazard stacking might be really good against him. Although he does have the webs if he wants to use it. Yeah.
So true. I do feel like he reached for Moltres a little bit in the 4th round. But like you said, Henry, it is really critical for his team.
I'd say it's an interesting mod because I know a lot of people really value it. And I guess
it's definitely become a lot better on the ladder with Rillaboom.
I agree.
But I don't think that's fair to say that translates into a league.
I guess that's a worry I have also for Urshifu is that like it's kind of become like a monster in the OU on the OU ladder. I don't even know if it's allowed anymore to be honest, but it's like actually not that fast. It's below the base 100 speed tier. And it's super weak to special attacks, so it doesn't really have like the bulk you would expect out of one of like the top tier physical attackers. And if it's not as fast, or if it's not fast either, I don't know if it can like really do a whole lot because this is like a league all about counter teaming. It's not the ladder, so I don't know. That's a worry I guess I have.
Yeah, I'll say I don't want to. Sorry, I don't want to talk too much about Cal personally because he is my week 1 battle. So there's some stuff that I feel bad about not bringing up because like
bullets and board material.
Yeah, but I think I do think the one thing about Cal is that I think the phrase that I first thought of when I was taking notes before I started writing was he's like very high risk, high reward. Like if he gets his webs down and he keeps Moltres alive, like he can just his opponent makes one mistake, he puts in Urshifu. Urshifu could just win a game. Just might fuck around and do it. But if at any point in that process he messes up, I feel like you kind of said, Quinn, like he just doesn't have the bulk to make up for it. So I don't know. I feel like he just has to be really careful about how he plays around his team. He just can't let anything die.
Yeah, like I mean, I talked a little negatively, but overall, I think it's one of the best drafts. I think it's really good. So.
Oh yeah. It's so scary.
I'm a little pessimistic, I guess. If no one else has anything to say, I guess we just move on to play song.
Yeah, I will say one question I was going to say. Do we want to at the end? I don't really know if this would be. I don't know how this would work. Do you remember how we did it last time, Espo and Zach, where it was us and Alex, and at the end we had a power ranking where like we did like the average of what we thought. I feel like we could do that with like a letter grade. Like maybe we just like at the end of each team we just like all say like on a scale, A to F, how good we think they did, and at the end we just see. I don't know if you guys are really into that idea, but
I'm okay to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on that. So we got, what is this? This is the Nido Kings now. So, one, sorry. QB. Does anyone have one off the top of their head, or because I know
I'd give this one like a B plus probably.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was also thinking the same thing.
Interesting.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike.
I guess maybe it's just because I'm playing them and I'm scared, but I was an A-. I don't know. I think Cal's a good enough battler to make the team work. Like maybe that's an A-, not just off of the draft, but like with knowing that he's the manager, I think he can make it work. But
I don't know if
he
I'm
definitely
really
can.
Give
I don't know.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just
Or
going to
you're
say.
just used to the CLA classes. You get A's in every class, so a B plus is pretty
Ouch.
CLA all the way.
CLA all the way.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be giving anyone like A's, so I think B plus is pretty solid. I guess just in my mind. Actually, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
agree.
I mean, there's none of these drafts are like perfect. You
Yeah.
know, like we can find problems with all of them.
I also don't
But
think
that's what
any
makes it
of them are
interesting.
like really bad. So,
Yeah.
All right.
all right, moving on into Python and the Trailblazers. Second pick. I think it was a pretty solid draft. I think it showed a lot of the tendencies that like Python has because I think he drafted Tangra at the exact same position last split. I know he likes
He
his
did.
Nidos. And I like the Megametric just for the sake of having it. Although I'm not so sure about Dragapult second overall. I don't think, even though you can run both special and physical sets, I don't think it really deals a ton of damage with either one. And it's got a pretty bad typing defensively. So, but it's super fast.
I don't know. It's a hell of a late game sweeper, though. If you get everything down enough, you just put that at the end, and there's not much that the guy can do
That is
because it
true.
outspeeds.
That is true.
Yeah, but I mean, I was gonna say on that, like I do think that Dragapult might give you a bit more like options, but if you told me that I could either pick Spectrier or Dragapult, I think I pick Spectrier.
I disagree personally, just because I don't think Spectre is going to be as good as people think it is. But
Yeah.
Okay,
It's so
interesting.
one-dimensional. Like, yeah, Dragapult isn't the most like amazing or like powerful just from a raw like stat sense, but it's so versatile. He can bring so many different sets
That's
of that
fair.
thing, and I really think that is gonna help him a lot in league.
yeah, I agree with Zach 100%.
I can buy into that. I guess he does have a lot of versatility there as well. And not just in terms of like if he's gonna run like an attacking set or a special attacking set, but also just in terms of what mons of his does he want to bring bulky or does he want to bring offensive? I think he's got some really solid like mid tier picks like his UUs.
Definitely agree.
I think his UUs are actually might be some of the strongest in the draft, like Arcanine,
Yeah.
Nidoqueen, Metagross. That's pretty solid.
Metagross is a steal round
Yeah.
9.
Yeah,
I was shocked by that.
that's a good pick. I like the slacking too. I think that also has potential to just be this big revenge killer, which we haven't really seen in a while. So I'm excited for that. So overall, I'm pretty optimistic. I think though one thing is kind of like Cal, probably even to a bigger extent, he doesn't have a ton of bulk, um, so that might be a problem as well.
Yeah,
I think he'll be safer on the physical side because he's got two good intimidators and also Tangrowth. But on the special side, I'd say he's a little bit lacking.
Yeah, special side is lacking a lot, but
yeah, I was gonna say I think his only like, apart from Assault Vest Tangrowth, which doesn't really count, you can run maybe a special defense Togekiss, but like doesn't feel good.
Yeah, he has the third lowest special defense in the entire league.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something to take into account.
Sorry. Yeah, you go.
No, go ahead. I was just pointing
Oh.
out for his actual physical defense, which is like kind of middle of the pack. So it's all right.
Okay. I was just gonna say I don't like slacking. Like
it's your last pick. Who cares at that point? You can always change that out.
Yeah.
You can always change it out, but I do just want to say I was very like, I don't know. I do agree that you can just swap it out, but even so, I feel like there are 40 picks that can like really make a team better, and I feel like there were some out there for Python, so that just felt kind of like a mean pick. I don't know.
I mean, it's a hugely powerful physical attacker, which he doesn't really have. So I think it's a good value pick in that respect. Plus, it just does so much damage with like Giga Impact or anything else that
That's
I don't even know the other ones.
that's
sometimes.
fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
No, that's all I got.
yeah. I don't know. I just think you can play around it, but yeah, I mean that's nitpicky. I think he has a really good pick. Also, Ash Greninja dropping to 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a steal.
Yeah, that was
Absolute steal.
a good pick for him. Yeah, I like.
He also has a lot of different ways to pivot with this team. Like a lot of these things get U-turn, Dragapult, Greninja, Komala, and then he has Volt Switch on Manectric. He has Baton Pass on Togekiss.
Yeah.
And Illumise. So, and he has those Intimidators to switch in and out.
I think
So that's another
Arcanine gets
thing that I
teleport,
like.
right?
Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's just another. Huh,
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
I think that like I think Volturn is something that doesn't really get talked about as much as it wants to. But it's still like super strong.
It does. I stand corrected. Then that
Would you
is
guys? Oh, sorry.
something that I like about this team a lot.
What do you guys think then is like, because it sounds like we're pretty high on it as on a whole. What do you guys think, like, what does Python need to do to win with this team? Like, what's his winning condition here?
I think he's just gotta maintain momentum with all these like teleport, U-turn, full switch, baton pass mons, and then chip away enough to the point where you can use Greninja and Dragapult, and even potentially Manectric to win the match.
Yeah, I think he can go either way with this team. He has things that can just blow through teams with like Greninja and Dragapult with like choice sets. But with all that pivoting, he also has ways to just chip and slowly wear down other teams. So that's another nice thing, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What do we think of letter grade?
I'd be torn between B plus and A minus for this one. If he had like a little bit more special defense, I would say for sure A minus. But I think that is something that kind of hurts this team.
I think I'm gonna go with B plus.
Although I guess Komala does have decent special defense, but
yeah,
still overall lacking.
Yeah. If he keeps it, I think it could be a way forward. In that respect, I think I'm gonna stick with B plus though. I think it's different than Cal's team, but I think they're pretty comparable in terms of how I view them.
I think I agree as well. I think I'd stay with the B plus.
Well, I gave Cal's team an A minus, and I also agree that they're pretty comparable. So I'm also gonna say A minus for this one to keep that trend going.
Fair enough. I mean, it's all pretty similar, so I think I don't have a problem with it personally. I guess then moving on to Nando for Nando Prestamon and the Shanghai Sharpedos. One of the teams involved in some drama during the draft. The other one being in the call right now. I mean, like, it's a rain team that kind of drifted away from rain after a certain someone took an important element from it. I think it's interesting. I don't know. I think there's lots of ways forward with it because it has the ability to like do the tail glow full beat onto some pretty crazy mods. Like his first 4 picks can really abuse the hell out of that. As well as Gotha Tillman Cove. So like a large portion of his team. That being said, it is a bit of a mismatch. Or yeah, not mismatch, but like amalgamation of different elements. It doesn't really have a ton of bulk. So that's my
It
Yeah.
doesn't really have a ton of bulk, and like a lot of these mons are really one-dimensional.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
Regieleki has no moves. Pelipper is always going to be running the same support set for the most part. Caesar, I love Caesar, but it pretty much always has the same set.
Yeah.
Mamo, Pinchurchin, Goth. Like you can go down the line just about
Yeah.
all of them are very one-dimensional, and like I do have confidence in Nando to win if he is actually motivated to win, but I don't like this team as much as the last two.
Yeah, I was gonna say not only are they one dimensional, but I feel like so much of this team just becomes worthless or close to it as soon as rain is down. Like I don't see Kabutops or Ludicolo as threats without rain. Scizor, unless you're running it for technician and offense, which I don't think you can afford to do with how little defense this team has, loses like so much bulk potential when rain is down. And even like going up to like Tornadus T, like Tornadus T is still gonna be good, but like I feel like you pick it because you get to throw in a Pelipper and then you're doing a lot of damage with Weather Ball
or Hurricane.
and Hurricane. Yeah. And yeah, it just opens up the door for confirmable damage. And I think it's unless Nando plays like a maniac and keeps Pelipper alive into the late game every single game, I think he starts losing games just because his team kind of falls apart once the other guy figures out how to get rid of the Pelipper.
The one thing I don't like about Pelipper, which is I looked at a lot when I was trying to figure out my draft, is it unless you put boots, heavy duty boots on it, if someone gets rocks up on you, it's really annoying to try and work a team because it's losing a fourth of its health every time it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he has all the defoggers he needs. It's just that's something he has to keep in mind when he's playing. That's honestly that's why I liked Politoed better, because it doesn't lose as much health to the stones. But I don't know.
I agree. I have unfortunately come around to Python's side that Politoed is the better rain setter, but that's just my 2 cents also.
I agree with everything that's been said, but I also think Nando's not going to play it in a way where like he would want to have defensive mons. I think it's got to be like really, really aggressive all the time, or else he's just going to get swept like pretty quickly. And I think he has the mons to do that, but to a certain extent, I don't think there's I mean, with the exception of like Mamoswine and Torrentee, I think nothing else on the team is like the sheer power by itself to like break through things. So you're right. It's gonna need the Pelipper, but he has to just be smart and aggressive, and that could potentially work.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
I'll take a look at the BST. Just curious.
I don't think it's very.
514 for him.
Yeah, it's the 4th lowest. So, yeah, which isn't wholly unexpected with like a rating team, because you're expecting some of your missing stats to come through just because of rain. But for like a team that doesn't even have the full benefits of rain, it's a little troubling. Personally, I probably would grade it maybe like C, and that might be a little generous.
I think I would go with probably B- for this. Maybe C, probably C+.
Yeah, I was thinking C+. I think I don't think he really had a backup plan, which I think
it's definitely true.
His middle picks.
Yeah, I'm also going C+. I think as soon as Mega Swampert was lost, the entire team just kind of collapsed out.
I think he has the tools for success, but it's just going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Speaking
of that, for the Weaviles, unless I'm in a minority, I'm confused.
I like Alex's draft. I think it's really unorthodox, but I think there is there's potential for a lot of fun to be had.
That's true. Can someone tell me, because I'm a plebeian and I haven't seen it used and I've only seen Smogon sets online, what is the benefits of drafting Glastrier first? What does it give you?
All right. In that respect, I don't really have the answer, because I also don't really know.
It hits like a truck, but it's never going to go first. So unless you get like Trick Room up, I don't know like it's not going to live forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this is the slowest team, if I remember correctly.
Does he have a Trick Room user?
Glacier itself gets Trick Room.
Really?
Yeah, if I remember. Yeah, I think so from the ladder at least. um, I don't know. I think it's really interesting though because he has webs, but just his team is also a little too slow to fully take advantage of it unless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think last year gets Trick Room.
Yeah, I think that's just Calyrex in
Oh,
the ice
they're
form.
all the same in my mind. Sorry.
And while we're on, quick pause, he does have the slowest team coming in at a fat average of 68.27.
Yeah, it's pretty slow.
He is very slow.
I do think he
He definitely has the bulk though.
yeah, I was about to say
Like,
He
he
does
has.
have a sticky web user.
Yeah, he has where is he? Where'd he go? Yeah, he has some of the highest defense, and then he has respectable attack. Um, I think his spec is like middle of the pack, if I remember correctly. Oh no, it's towards the top end. His
My sorry.
no, his team is pretty like besides the speed, it's pretty highly placed for the most part in terms of pure statistics.
That's the thing that I think is kind of my problem with it is that I think that by the numbers, it's not like an objectively bad team. Like it has good type coverage. It has pretty good numbers in every area except for speed. But I don't see how it flows together too well. And I feel like there are a lot of Pokemon that like Mega Houndoom. Like you're never gonna get Sun on this team. So even though it has good stats and good coverage, like I don't know. I feel like there's just something missing, and I also don't think Urshifu Rapid Strike is gonna be a great threat. I just don't think it's nearly as good as Single Strike. Like I was kind of surprised it went that high, but
I definitely agree. I drafted it last split. I did not think it was useful
I
in
agree
most
in that.
matchups.
I think that number two is a bit of a reach, but I also think it can do work if I think substitute on that model would be really good if you run like a substitute set, substitute bulk up, and then you could break a lot of things pretty quickly. But I do agree that I don't think it's amazing for the most part. On the Mega Houndoom point, though, I do think you're right in that this team probably won't be running Solar or Sunny Day for the solar power. But Mega Doom doesn't really like I, for instance, had Mega Doom way back in the day. And I never ran Sunny Day, but it's still fast enough and hits hard enough regardless that you can do a lot of damage and pick up some good kills at the end of the game. It doesn't really have a great move pool, but basically you just would run Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, and Sludge Bomb and Nasty Plot. So you do get some variety with the Sludge Bomb, but I think at the end of the game, this thing could be really strong.
interesting.
I don't know. I just like it a lot because it has a lot of things that, or the draft, because the team has a lot of things that like can do different things and also like end up hitting pretty hard. Like his entire team has got threats. If you think about it, like every single one of these mons could run some sort of offensive set and do damage. And there's also enough
That's
bulk
true.
there where I don't think that's a huge issue. So I think it's like I don't know, there's a lot of different pieces that might not necessarily look like they should be together, but individually at least, I think it's pretty good.
I think prep's going to be really important for Alex if he wants to do well. But
Yeah.
besides that,
I got faith in Alex. He's done really well the last year.
True.
Yeah, that's my thing about it is that I think if it's not someone who's coming off of an 8-2 season, I'm way more worried. But like if there's anyone that can figure out what are the 6 best Pokemon out of this hodgepodge for a team and then go and make it work, like Alex is definitely up there as someone I think who could do it. So
yeah, I think just having a mom like Celebi to like baton pass stats off on as well, that could be pretty beneficial because it's bulky enough where it can take a couple hits and get those little baton passes off, especially on things like Sylveon or Silvally that don't really need a whole lot besides just being bulky. So I don't know. I think it's pretty
True.
interesting. I think I'd probably give it like a
Oh,
B minus overall.
yeah, I'd
I
say
was
probably
thinking
B.
I was thinking B minus as well.
I
And
also
Zach, wait,
really
Zach, did you say B?
I said B, yeah.
Okay.
I was also gonna say I just really love parting shot as a move on Sylvale. Like so few mons get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm going B. I was initially more of a B minus, but the more we talked about it, the more that I kind of re-inspired faith in Alex. Like, yeah, I definitely think he could make it work. I do want to see him run Urshifu Rapid Strike a bit
Sorry.
because I think that that'll be like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think if it gets one bulk up off, or if it gets any kind of swap in where it gets some stat boost, I think it could. I think it could run wild. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'll put mine up to a B. I'll join the B train.
The B train.
Next up, Patrick Bruce, the man, the myth, the legend, the Rotom Washingtons, possibly the greatest name this league has ever had. Number 5 in the draft.
Possibly. I do not like this team very much.
Just gonna say,
Interesting.
Yeah, because like even more so than Nando's team, almost everything he drafted it except for Mew. Mew is like the opposite of one
I don't
dimension.
know how Mew fell that low though. Just I
Yeah,
thought that was ridiculous.
Mew was a steal for sure. That late. But and Infernape is pretty versatile too. But with the exception of those two, pretty much everything on this team, you know almost exactly what it's going to be, and it really can't do much other than that. So, like, if you don't have the ability to deal with one of them, then you'll be in trouble. But if you do, then it is not going to be that hard to prep for and know what's coming.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I have two things I want to say. So one, I want to talk about Spectrier for a second, and then I want to talk about the one dimensionalness of his team. So with Spectrier, my thing is that I think that while it can be pretty one dimensional, it's still a Pokemon that's like that isn't like incredibly easy to prep for. Like obviously you can just like throw, like if you're me, like I'm obviously just gonna throw Blissey at it and just call it good. But like because you can run a substitute set with Hex and Will-O-Wisp, or you can run like a Mud Slap set. Like I feel like there's like just enough versatility that like if Patty can take advantage of just like one slip up, like Spectre will get that +1 boost, and there's very little anyone can do to stop it. And then beyond that, I just think he has so much firepower that kind of like with the last two, it's all going to be based down to prep and how well people prep against him. Because like you said, like if someone shows up and he brings like Choice Scarf Superior and no one has like a good response to it, or that response is wiped out early, then all he has to do is just wait till he can send it in, and then it's just game over. And he has so many Pokemon that can do that I just think he's always a little spooky. It's kind of like the Timberwolves, where like I don't know how well he'll do, but he'll 100% be spooky while he's doing it. And he has Mew. Yeah, and he has Mew who can just like do anything. So like if he needs more defense, it's just like slap a Mew in there, and like it won't be perfect, but it'll work. So am I high on the Washingtons? No, but do I think that they're a fun team who could make the playoffs? Yes.
I think I would probably echo what both of you have said. I yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Spectrier, but there's hype around it, so I guess I have to wait and see what happens. I know that Mega Mile Wild is not good. I know that it's been proven, and I'm not a fan of it. So I don't like it on this team, and I don't like it at number 3 overall, or number 3rd round, excuse me. Uh, I think like what Zach said, it's like really one dimensional, but like it's just like 11 Pokemon that are like good individually by themselves. But then on this team, there's not a whole lot of like cohesion. Um, so I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
I do agree with the cohesion part as well.
Yeah. I think this is a team, if we're going to do it on like what is this team doing well, like in terms of why they're going to do well or why they're going to do poorly, I do think that this team only does well if Patty is making like one good prediction a game. Like if he's getting like one really solid random kill in or just like one good read to get a substitute up for a superior or whatever, I think there's always that chance that he does well. But I think as long as the person playing him is smart and builds suitable tools to deal with the majority of his threats, I don't think he has great wall breaking potential. Like you guys said, I don't see a whole lot of offensive threats that really feel like they jive together, if that makes sense.
I think he's
But
got like some big wall breakers, but you're right, they don't really jive together. They take a little bit, or they're really vulnerable in certain respects. Like Mega Mawile does have like crazy attack, but it just is so slow and like not bulky that it doesn't really live much. Um, I guess same with Spectre as well. But yeah, I understand.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
for a grade,
probably put it like I don't know, C plus.
I'd go C minus probably.
I'm gonna stick with C then.
Aspo,
I was thinking between C and C plus, but I don't know. There's some parts of it that I like a lot, but others like I hate Spectre. I don't think it's gonna do well in the league. But so I guess I'll stick with the C then. But I don't know. He does have some interesting mons overall. Like I still can't believe he got Mew that late. But
Yeah, pretty lot of fun.
that's my
well, I'm gonna keep up the tradition of going a bit higher. I'm gonna go B minus. And not just for tradition's sake. Like I feel like Patty always shows glimpses of doing things that are really cool, and like he always has teams that just like have that potential. And every single season, I've started high on him, and he usually starts high, and then he starts to dip around game 4. But I'm hoping Heroes and Villains means that it'll sustain. So I'm gonna continue to go higher than I should on Patty.
If
And give
Patty
him a B
tries,
minus.
Patty's like one of the best battlers. It's just
Yeah.
does he try? Moving on to Kevin Durant's protege, Thomas
The
Sheehan.
body.
The body itself.
This is an incredibly Thomas Sheehan draft.
I know.
I
I
will
was
say.
thinking that
Like,
myself.
it's got all the hallmarks. It's got Lando T, Hydreigon, Vaporeon.
Klefki, I think he gets Klefki a lot too.
He does usually draft Klefki. It just needs Scolipede, and then it would be
Or Megalov. I'm
in my
surprised.
eyes.
I
I
yeah,
was
and
so
Megalov.
surprised.
Yeah, no one took
So
Megalov,
true.
so Tom, if you are listening, you can come back and get it.
It's not too late.
Not too late.
Yeah, it's an interesting draft. I've had I can't really say much. Yeah, it's an interesting draft. I think his first 3 picks are really powerful, even though I'm not a huge fan of Hydreigon.
Really,
Yeah, I think it's more of my own failures, though. I don't think it's a knock on the Mon.
I think it is. I think it's so underutilized in league. Like its move pool is so good.
Yeah.
It gets Nasty Plot and Dragon Dance. And
Yeah, you can
Flare.
run special or physical, which is I think
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
My problem has always been that I just don't think its stats are strong enough to support that.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry. I just quickly one other Pokemon that wasn't drafted. That while I'm not like holy shit, I am a bit surprised. No Dragonite. I don't know why I expected to see it.
It wasn't
But-
drafted last split.
It wasn't drafted last split, but I thought with 18 people, someone would take a chance on it.
I honestly, when I was saving my OUA for the end there, I did not realize Greninja was still there, and that's who I was probably saving it for. But I don't know. I just think Dragonite's ice issue is kind of hard to deal with, especially in the draft league. But
That's fair.
I think something that's kind of removed Dragonite is also just there's been more like really fast, hard hitting dragon types, and like recent,
That's
like,
fair.
since it's come out at least.
The Power Creep kind of gets it.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball is a prime example of that. Um, overall, I think it's a good draft. I think it's like really solid in most areas. Like it has enough bulk. It has like enough heavy hitters. It has mons that can set up.
I think
Uh,
Zarude was a smart pick,
yeah, I think that was.
especially.
I think Sarude's pretty good, and I like how he got it in the 6th round. Um, I guess my only concern would just be I don't think it like really excels in one area, so he's just gotta play pretty smart in all aspects of it, build correctly.
Yeah, I think my only gripe with it, and this is like a kind of nitpicky gripe, but like whatever, is that while he has a lot of good options for defense, he did double down on water with Vaporeon and Lapras. And the fact that that's the only thing that I can point to be like that's something I wish you hadn't done means like he has a good draft. I just think it's like overall like above average. But like you said, there's nothing that stands out as like, oh, that'll be strong for this team. Like it just feels like he kind of drafted safe and did a pretty good job overall.
Yeah. I think defensively, like as far as his bulk goes, he's really leaning on Vaporeon because he has like Wheezing, Lapras, Dusclops, Klefki, Lando. None of those get recovery. So if he wants to try to stretch a game out, he's gonna need to be able to pass those wishes, which Vaporeon is a good wish passer. But I don't know. I find it can be hard sometimes to make wish work really well in league.
He's also gonna get
So
worn down by hazards a lot too.
Yeah.
So he's got ways to deal with it, like Diancie. Um, although now that I'm thinking of it, does he have any defoggers or rapid spinners?
I think
Yeah,
I think
he's got 4, right?
yeah, Wheezing.
doesn't
I think
Thundy
it's
get
defog.
It's Klefki, Hydreigon, Lender's T, and
There's
Thunder.
T.
Jesus,
Really? I thought Wheezing got defog.
I know
No.
so much, don't I?
Also, Klefki and Thunder's Eye both get Prankster, which I think is a slept-on ability.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the return of Thunderous Eye. I was actually been a fan and used it pretty well in the past. But it's been a couple splits I think since it's been actually drafted.
Yeah, I mean it seems it's solid. Does it gets baton pass, I'm assuming, right?
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
it does.
It doesn't. I just looked it up. Interesting.
Yeah,
I do like being able to run Prankster or Defiant though.
yeah.
Defiant is a nice secondary ability to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the way Thomas wins is just using those like first like 3 months, just do massive amounts of damage, and then
Yeah.
supplementing with the rest of his team because like Darmanitans, Rude, and Thundy can also dish out some damage. But they're like I guess with the exception of Thundy, the other two are pretty one-dimensional. Um, I'd probably give it a B plus B. I'd probably view it in the same light as like Python and Cal, where I think it's just pretty solid overall.
Yeah, I'd give it a B.
Yeah, B for me.
I'm also gonna go with a B. The one thing I will say is that because Brendan didn't use it at all last year, I do want to see the body pull out more Darmanitan because I feel like there aren't a lot of. I mean, this is like a one search, so don't quote me on this, but I feel like there aren't a lot of great. Actually, no, I take it back. Never mind. I was going to say there aren't a lot of defensive checks to it in the league, and then I started seeing Milotic and Toxapex, and I'm going to shut up.
I think you could probably find one for each team. Like if each team's looking for like make something on their team, they could do it. But yeah, still pretty strong on.
Yeah.
Moving on to Bobby Hahn and the Denver Dark Rays. That's an
Scary.
interesting draft. I think his first 3 picks are like busted. I think they're really strong. I think I slept on Zapdos G a little too much, and then after looking at it more, I'm like, damn, that's a good mod. But I also think the rest of his draft isn't that great. I don't like I've all right. In one of my worst splits, I had Celesteela and Mega Altaria together, and I did very poorly. I think that was more because I sucked, as opposed to the combination doesn't work. But the one thing I did learn was that Mega Altaria isn't as good as I thought it was. I don't think it has. It's not as bulky as At least my perception of it was. I think it only has like, I don't think it exceeds like 115, base 115 for either of its defenses. I'll pull it up. Oops, that's the wrong one. Inmo has like a huge amount of, yeah, it has 110 maxed for defense, attack, and special attack. So it's like very versatile, but it doesn't blow you away immediately. Like it needs time to do its job. And I think that can be said for almost all of that team. I don't think any mon on it besides Avalok, obviously, on the defense, is strong enough to like tank like a superpower, or not like the actual move superpower, but just like a really strong heavy hitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the one thing that I will say, that one positive for the back half that I really like about this team is the Gastrodon.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I'm sure he wanted Seismitoad or Swampert, and that Gastrodon was like his third. So it's like, tough for him that he didn't get what he really wanted. But the fact that like for his top half, like you don't want to bring a grass type for Cinderace, Celesteela, or Zapdos, Galar, or Shaman, but like that doesn't, those next few don't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, you don't want to bring a grass type. You don't want to waste a slot on a grass type move. Like, you know, like I was looking at it, like I don't have a grass type. Like the best I'll probably do against that is an energy ball from Tapu Lele. And I ran the calcs. And if that thing is max special defense, my Tapu Lele needs to be, I guess I'm telling him this, whatever. He'll figure it out. My Tapu Lele, like, I'm pretty sure needs to be specced to kill it. Or something crazy like that. Like, I've been doing my calc wrong. But like, you know, I need to invest to kill the Gastrodon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like no teams in the league, barring, well, Quinn, you have Tapu Bulu and Brendan has Rillaboom. But I think beyond that, there, besides maybe Mega Venusaur, there aren't a lot of like crazy grass threats that Bobby's going to run into.
Zarude could probably do it.
Zarude too. Zarude definitely could.
Also, freeze dry. It's much more common now. So there's definitely some strong.
That's fair. That's fair. I forgot about freeze dry. Fuck me. Damn. But still a good pick. Still a good pick. But maybe not as geeked as I thought it was.
I think it's an RU now. But he also has recovery. I think he's really strong. I like that pick a lot. And to be fair, he does have webs. And you can definitely do some damage like Ursaring, Dugtrio, even Zapdos G. If you run the band set on the webs, I think that could be a lot of damage. So like, I don't know, maybe not a huge fan of his back half, but I definitely think those first three are like busted.
I like Shaman also. I think it's a little underrated.
From first pick in the draft, first round to what, 7th round, quite the fall. Where's Cakes when you need her?
For me, I think I love his first three picks. When he got Cinderace and Celesteela, I was like, wow, that's going to be powerful. And then he got Zapdos G, and I was like, damn. But one thing I do think that's interesting, I think the Mega Altaria, there are 2 hero teams that are like weather-based, me being one of them. And that's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with Cloud9.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that.
Interesting. I also didn't think of that.
So,
yeah,
but
I wonder if he like thought about that before drafting it, or if he just wanted the Mega Altaria. Either way,
I think that had something to do with it. Just because there was so much, like there's 2 sand teams, there's 2 water teams. I don't see a sun team, but like he'll definitely use it. So it's
yeah.
Interesting.
I think now that I'm looking at his team more, one other problem that I'm kind of running into is that I'm not seeing a whole lot of hazard clear. I just looked it up. Zapdos Galar doesn't get defog. So the only thing that he has is a rapid spin on Avalon. Besides court change on Cinderace. And Celesteela, according to the doc, Celesteela doesn't get defog.
No,
I'll go to
I think Altaria does though, doesn't it?
I would honestly, yeah, it does. Mega does. So
it does. How weird. That's not on the doc. Okay, that makes me feel a bit better. But still, 1 defogger in Altaria, or you're running court change on Cinderace. And like, not that that's like a bad play by any stretch, but I do with having used Cinderace for a split, and it was a split. I think that was probably my best split in terms of performance, even though I went 3-7. And I felt like in must-win moments, Cinderace is powerful without Choice Band, but it's not like I'm going to carry this game for you powerful. And I think Bobby's a good enough battler that he maybe doesn't need that, but you definitely feel it when you feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you would prefer a Choice Band. So, I don't know.
That's a good point,
Now-
though, on the hazards. Specifically, if he wants to run the webs and someone is hazard stacking against him, like, he only has one option to not clear everything.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So,
I think you guys definitely raised. Like, I was probably give it like a B minus, but I'm gonna go with a B. I think it's better than my initial thoughts.
I'd also go solid B.
that's well.
I was thinking more A minus, B plus.
Oh, okay.
Now that I saw that it doesn't have as many like hazard removals, I think I'll stick with the B plus.
Yeah, that's all. That's exactly my vote. Is that if Bobby is able to get rid of the hazards in a way that makes sense, I think he's fine. But and not that a lot of his team gets hit hard by hazards, but still, there's a kind of a lot of stall in this league, like this time around. So I feel like he could get worn down pretty quickly.
That's true. That's true. Always be stalling.
Slow moving offense.
Yeah, God.
So offense.
Left those days behind me. Next up, we got Espo with the second rain team. I think I like it.
Superior rain team.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I like it. I think with your first two picks, it wasn't like the stereotypical rain image. I think like those two mons definitely do well in rain, but I would always think of like a Kingdra. You know what I mean? That kind of rain. But I like it. I think it's good. I like the Swampert. The Swampert definitely improves the team as opposed to not having the rain.
The way that it worked out was so perfect because Nando didn't know you were going for rain until you drafted
I
Politoed
was
in
so
the third
hoping
round,
he would pick Pelipper.
and then
I was like,
by the time it snaked back around, it was too late for him to draft Swampert.
I
So
thought he definitely knew you were going for rain. For whatever reason, in my mind at least, I thought he'd do that.
I would honestly, I would have bet someone would have told him that I was going for rain by
Honestly,
then. But
I feel like I told him that you were going for rain, but I guess I didn't. But I guess I didn't.
yeah, he had no clue apparently. So that thankfully for me that worked out. But unfortunately, I was really hoping to get Ferrothorn because that really would have helped me, and he went in like the fourth round. So I was like, damn.
Oh, was that
Ethan?
Oh god.
Ethan.
Yeah, I'm gonna tear into that team when we get down there.
do you guys know how that team like came to be?
I'm sure it was a lot of plotting from someone named Nando.
Okay, I'll wait until we get there.
Okay.
But it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Back
like
to Espo's team.
I like Kyurem a lot. I like Gudra. I like the Greninja, specifically with the last pick. It was just the one thing I would say is that maybe there should be like more like Raidmons on there. Because sorry for Quentin.
Oh no, sorry, I was totally about to interrupt you. I just keep on going. I think there's a lot of low key Rainmons on here.
I'm thinking I guess more in like terms of like Swift mons that can like go in the rain and then just deal damage really fast.
I wanted to stay away from that just because if for some reason there's like a Mega Altaria, then my team's screwed. It's all based on rain. So I just wanted like to benefit from the rain, not like rely on it, I guess.
Okay, I like that.
And that's what I was gonna say is that when I was looking at your team once it was done, like this, I texted you a good shit because I was looking through it. Like, Amoonguss is going to benefit from it because fire is weakened, so you neutralize that. Same with Bronzong, but also with Bronzong, it means that rather than having to go with with heat proof to get rid of your fire problems, you can run levitate on it so that you can avoid ground damage, and then because of the rain, you are also taking less damage from fire. I really like that about your team. I don't know if that's a spoiler that I wasn't supposed to have announced. I really, that Bronzong, just as soon as I saw it, I was like, fuck, that's really good. Gudra gets guaranteed thunders. Kirim is going to be taking less damage from fire because of it. I don't know.
Gudra also gets the rest with hydration.
Oh, shit. Really yeah, you're right.
It also gets Sap Zipper, which I really love because like Rillaboom or something like that.
Also true.
You can switch in, and also you can run special or physical with Gudra, which I love as well.
You have a really good weakness total. Like, yeah, really, really good. Like, maybe the best, honestly, as I'm going through it.
That was what blew. Yeah, that blew me away too. You, I think only you, and I think there's one other person who doesn't have a single red. And that's just like crazy.
I think there's more than one who doesn't have a single red, but
red. Oh, okay.
Thomas.
Oh yeah, they're definitely right. Oops.
You and Thomas are the only ones who have anything I think beneath like 95 or 0.95. Oh no, there's three. There's 3 or 4. All right, the 0.93. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a really. I think it's put together and like maybe not the most traditional way, but I like it. I didn't really think about the Gudra, and I like that a lot too.
I also before we go into grading, I have to ask: Mesprit is your NU, right?
Yeah.
What is? Can you tell us what Mesprit does? Because I saw it played in the beer league, and it was kind of all over the place. So I don't really get the appeal. I don't know.
I liked that it got screens. It could redo the rain dance thing, so re-get that going. U-turn was huge. I love U-turn, Volt Switch, those type of Pokemon. And it was just like I felt like it could do a lot. So at that point, I was kind of sitting there like not sure what I really wanted, and I saw that was still there. So I was like, yeah, I'll grab it.
I think it's a good NU. It also gets rocks.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice utility mon.
I think the only mon that I don't like is Aerodactyl, but like that's not a huge thing to not like.
Yeah, the only reason I drafted that one was for the speed. It's just pure fast, and it hits kind of hard. So I was like, why not draft it?
Yeah, I can understand that. What is it? Is it NU, RUP? I don't even know.
It's RU, I think.
Oh, all right, yeah, that's pretty good. If it was U, I probably would dislike it more, but once you get past UU, it's like a crapshoot. You don't really care what you're getting as long as it gets some usage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would probably say B. I like it I like it as much as I probably would say with Thomas and Python and Cal. I think there's strong elements.
I'm gonna go A- on this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm a bigger fan of this draft. I also like Kirim a lot. After I had it 2 splits ago,
Kirim
I think it's really, really good now that it has Dragon Dance.
The stat is really good too.
Also true.
I'm a B+. I like the team. I think it's going to do well, but I do think it's going to be not as bad as Nando, but anytime you're running a weather team, I'm just always like, I don't know. I think you'll be fine, but it's not like, and I don't know. I wouldn't put it up there with some of the A's, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess I'll give myself a B. There was a couple things I wanted to get that I didn't get, so.
Put a little star next to your name.
Yeah.
I guess and Swan. Actually, Swan's got an interesting draft because, like with Dracovish and Seismitoad, I think those are 2 mons that are traditional rain teams, on rain teams. And now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if he's going to trade with Nando, just because, like, I don't know where. I'm not actually. I do know. Like, I think Dracovish and Seismitoad are fine regardless of the rain, but I could definitely see the villains pulling something like that.
What would he want from Mando's team?
Yeah, that's the weird part about it.
I would guess if I had to look, I know Seismitoad is NU, and now I need to find Volbeat. All right, if Volbeat was an NU, I would have guessed that, but it's not. Um, I don't know, maybe the Kabutops, but I don't think so. He would do that. So maybe not, probably not, just based off the team comps, but something to think about. We'll see what happens. Look, back to the overall team though. Like my thoughts, I think he's got some strong things that don't really mesh together that well. I don't think his team isn't really that fast either. I don't know. I think it's a little strange.
I think it is a little strange. I also think he reached for Buzzwole
Yeah, I did
in
too.
the third round. I don't think it's as good. I mean, it's good on the ladder now, obviously, because of Urshifu, but very easy to counter team.
If he
But
gets
I
hit,
do.
yeah. If he gets hit with a flying type special attack move, it's gone. Like
Yeah,
even
hidden
hidden
power
power
flying from any.
flying will take it out. But
Yeah. But that being, other than that, I actually do like this team a lot, even if the offense might not jive to a super high degree. I like all of these mons. I like individually a lot. Like Necrozma is very versatile now that it gets Dragon Dance, so it can run a variety of attacking sets or supporting sets. I also like Swallow a lot. It's a really good mon
A
in League.
staple.
A staple indeed. And Lando Eye is very versatile too. And honestly, I think Mega Aggron is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's such a pain to try to kill. Like I remember when I played him, it just sucked. But
I gotta say, I wanted Mega Aggron. I wanted it really badly. I heard there were rumors that Swan wanted it, but I was like, I definitely thought there were picks that Swan valued more than it. So after I grabbed when I was picking for Alligator and Dragonage, I was like, I think I can do one more cycle because I needed a BL to be legal. Like I needed that BL, and I dumbly was like, I think I'm gonna let it go. And then Swan picked it on the way back, and it was no bueno. I think Mega Aggron is super slept on.
I remember. I think the last person to have it was Jared, right, Zach?
he had it last
before
split.
Swan, you mean? Swan did have it last split
Oh,
before
I
he
didn't even
wavered.
know that. I was thinking of
Yeah,
4 years ago.
the thing that confuses me is that Swan ditched it last split, and I also think that the reason why you can run a rest set on Mega Aggron, but it doesn't feel too well. I would say just because I played with it a bit on the ladder or on the Natdex ladder. I didn't really like it that way, and I feel like most people would prefer not to. And that's why I wanted it because of Blissey.
Yeah.
Because then you can just teleport it in, get it free heals, and it just can kind of stay alive forever. And Swan can't really do that. So I feel like while it's bulky, unless you're running rest on it, it is just a battle of attrition, and I don't think it has the coverage to cover a lot of things that can wear it down, if that makes sense. So
I think he might use it in a different way than your initial plans, just based off the team, because I think his team is like it's pretty aggressive. So there's not a lot of mons that aren't out there to like do damage.
that's fair.
So he might just be trying to use it as something to either like
It's
soak
just
rocks
yeah.
and then do damage, or maybe bring it in late game when nothing can really kill it. That's interesting. Honestly, I think this and Patrick's draft are like not similar in terms of like composition, but just of like a team full of mons that are like pretty good by themselves. I'm not really sure how they would mesh together really well. Except I think Swans is maybe like harder hitting, like a lot harder hitting.
Yeah. Kind of the nose, kind of hit it right on the nose there.
Yeah, I'll probably give this like a B minus or a C plus.
yeah, I'd probably go B.
Yeah, I was gonna go B.
I'm also gonna go B. I would like to go lower out of spite, but I've just seen. I also really wanted Seismitoad. The fact that he drafted that. What is that? 5th or 6th? 6th. I thought I had at least one more round. So I'm a little spiteful, but I think he has a decent draft.
The Toad is a popular mon.
The Toad is a
I-
popular mon.
I thought he had an illegal draft because I did not think there was any way Seismitoad could be an NU.
Yeah,
But
that's a
it
shame.
is.
I'm gonna probably put them back there. Although there's a couple things like that. I guess moving on to Mike Burke, the Marseille Mile Wilds, the Sand team.
The first Sand team.
I don't know if it's the first,
I
but definitely one of the
Well, I mean,
few.
first that we're gonna talk about.
Oh, yeah, definitely one of
Not
the
better.
few.
Yeah.
I like this team a lot personally. Melmetal hits so hard. I had to deal with that with Swan last time, and it's just really annoying. Plus, it doesn't get buffed by the sand, which is awesome. Mega Garchomp is really slept on, especially now that it has what's it called? Scale Shot, right? Which
Yeah.
boosts
Yeah.
boosts its speed. Like if he gets it set up, he's just gonna run through teams.
Absolutely.
I think
Garchomp is such a versatile mon.
yeah, that's for sure. I think the Mega Garchomp is interesting because that's definitely a mon that there's been some conversation about ever since it got the new moves. Personally, I think I disagree a little bit just because I don't think the scale shot is going to push it over the edge. But the great thing about this is that he has the chance to prove me wrong. So I'm excited to see what he does. And I guess on top of that, I don't see like I know he drafted sand users, but it doesn't really feel like a sand team to me. Just because it's like Melmetal doesn't like directly benefit from sand. I think Garchomp's ability something it has something to do with sand. It gets better somehow. with
Sand Force.
I think so.
I don't know.
So that will
It
hit
is Sand
hard, and then
Force.
his Lycanroc too. But sorry, my Alexa just went off. I think it's a solid team, but I just don't know if I would say it's like a sand team. Maybe like sand elements.
Yeah.
You can tell he did think about it though, because he has Mandibuzz
Yeah,
with
that's true.
Overcoat
The
too.
overcoat. Yeah.
So I will say that, and Stoutland also gets Sand Rush.
Mhm.
I believe. So
That is true.
That was what I
that.
was. Sorry, that's what I was thinking when I looked at this team. Is that it doesn't look like a team where it's like Nando or like Espo, where like if you guys aren't bringing your rain, I'm a bit confused. Unless it's like a really good, unless you have like something really well planned out. Like I think the Mawwiles don't need to bring Hippo down every game, but it's like you always know that there's that threat that he's going to bring Hippo down, and then he's going to pull out a Lycanroc. Because Lycanroc also gets Sand Rush, right, Espo?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you just know that there's that threat. And also, I love Hatterene and Melmetal together. And then Keldeo and Rotom Heat, I feel like, are going to be a great combo together between Volt Switch and Flip Turn. Like, if he
Yeah.
wants to. Like, obviously, you can run Choice Spec to Keldeo and be just fine. But, yeah. And also, I like that his Hazard Clear is... I mean, I don't, like, love... But he has defog on Mandibuzz if he needs it, but he also has Rapid Spin on Tesserina. So if he wants to set up hazards and try to keep them up, I'm sure he can make something work. And I think having that option is cool. Not amazing, but like it's there.
Yeah, I think despite like my misgivings about the sand, like the full sand team, I guess, I still think it's a good draft. I think he's distributed his methods of attack pretty well. His team is pretty defensive. I'm not really so sure about the special defensive side of it. And he's got to be definitely careful about water types because Hippowdon, Rotom Heat, his special wall, or his walls in general, kind of get ran through by that. And plus, water types usually have an ice type or ice move or two. And so Garchomp, Mandibuzz, Serena also get a little vote
Ooh.
because of that.
True.
That's a really good point.
But overall, I think it's cool. I think it'll be fun to watch. I'm excited for Mega Garage. I have my misgivings, like I said, but I'm still excited.
Yeah, I think he does well if he can play around that because I think his team is like good. But yeah, if someone comes really well prepared or anything like that, I think it could be bad.
Yeah, I'll probably give him a B. I'm giving it a lot of B's as grades, but that was my general feeling after the draft. And like going through the teams right now, it's like kind of cementing that. I think everyone has like elements for success, and this team is like not really any different. Well, it has a couple holes or two.
Yeah. I'd like to see where Keldeo has been drafted before because I feel like he reached for it a little bit, and I don't really think it's that great because it's so one-dimensional. But I don't know.
In
That's
the
just my 2
Heroes
cents.
chat, a bunch of us really wanted Keldeo, so
Yeah,
I think
was
he
going
had.
for Keldeo.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. All right. I guess he kind of had to do that then if he wanted
yeah.
it.
I think
but-
historically it's been drafted much higher than it has like in the last like year or two.
Last split, it was drafted 6th, if I remember right.
Overall,
No, sixth round.
oh, I was gonna be shocked.
That's not 6th overall.
Yeah.
Is Keldeo is OUB, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not OUA. Okay. All right. Yeah. That makes sense then.
I don't know, I'm kind of high on this team. I like it a lot. I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Ooh.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna go B plus. I do like this team. I think it has a lot of potential to be good, but time will tell.
I'm also going B plus. It's got a lot of positives. I think you can make it work. No,
On to the Lake Spirits, led by Brendan
the Lake
Tickle.
Spirits.
Again, it's just like such a tickle draft.
It is.
Some people you just look at their draft and you're like, yep, of
Yep.
course.
There's
Thomas,
Tickle.
absolutely.
I felt that with Python, too.
absolutely. Kind of with Python. I feel like
The
not
tan
quite as
growth.
much this split, but yeah, the tan growth is there.
But
like for Tickle, the Tyranitar
the
is there.
T-Tar,
The
the
Tentacruel is
Tentacruel.
there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm excited. Yeah, sorry. It's with him being my cousin, even though he will murder me in our game. Although, for the record, the only time Brandon and I have played was in a beer league round, and I beat him like 3-0.
Hey.
So technically, I have the
There you
advantage
go.
on him right now, which is pretty huge. But I don't know. I think he has a really solid draft, and there's so many like low key things about it that the more I was thinking about it, the more scared I was getting. Like apart from his top 5, which is going to be strong in itself, you can baton pass some speed onto an Obstagoon, I think pretty easily with the way he's set up. And Obstagoon, once it gets its burn up and maybe a bulk up or an obstruct off, is just gonna run through teams. Mega Gardevoir just provides so much special attack, and Frostlass was such a good last pick because you can't rapid spin it. It can Destiny Bond you if you try to kill it, and it can put spikes up.
It does damage now, too.
And it does damage, yeah. Like I think the only thing that I'm worried about on this team is that Rillaboom, Zygarde 50%, and Dracozolt all get murdered by ice, but you have Assault Vest, T-Tar, or a little bit of special defense investment in Tentacruel, and that's no longer a problem. So I don't know. I'm biased, so that's why I wanted to go first because I wanted to get all my bias out. I just think he has a really good team. Like I'm very scared looking at it.
I played Tickle first week, and I've already started to prep a little. And I'm scared to death of Dragozolt with Sandrush.
It's gonna hit like a truck.
With what's the move? It's like
Bolt Break,
Bolt,
yeah.
whatever it is.
Oh my God.
Bolt Beak.
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not going to be fun to deal with. But I don't know. Also, Zygarde 50%. What's his move? 1,000 arrows
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
That move's that's pretty. It's what is it? Hits all flying types.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty cool thing to have as well. So
I also believe that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can keep going.
I was just gonna say, like, I think Thousand Years also doesn't get affected by grassy terrain, so it's even like better synergy.
True.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because Rillaboom, right? Earthquake gets affected by the what's it called?
The terrain.
Yeah, the grassy terrain.
Yeah, I think Earthquake's actually the only ground type move that does. So yeah, I really like this draft, like a lot.
Yeah, I agree. If there was like anything I would knock it for, it would be that his only mon with like any kind of recovery outside of rest is Orbeetle, but that's also kind of par for the course for most of Tickle's drafts. I feel like
Yeah, and like I
he
guess
usually doesn't have a lot of mons with recovery, and he usually does just fine.
yeah, I agree. I think to build on that point, he has a time 16 weakness to Ghost, and only one mon that provides an immunity to it, and then another mon that resists it. Like his entire back half is weak to Ghost, um, which is a problem.
Interesting. That is kind of a problem.
And beyond that, his team in general isn't bulky, like you were kind of saying. I think if something sets up on the team, it's going to run through it pretty quickly. Like an Ice type mon, that thing is going to have a field day, whatever it may be. But I still like the draft a lot. I think also because it's Sickle, like you gotta give him like a whole little cushion just because you know what he's gonna do.
That is true.
I'll probably give it an A minus. I like it a lot.
I'd probably go B plus. Yeah, B plus. B plus, just like purely objectively looking at the draft. No extra tickle points.
That's fair. I'm not gonna argue that.
Espo?
I think he has the best team in the draft. So I think I'm gonna give him an A.
High praise.
Actually, no.
Wow.
Actually, no. I take that back. He has the second best team in the draft. So I'll give him the A minus.
Interesting. I'm also going with an A minus. Very good draft. I don't know. It's very Tickle too. I feel comfortable with it. So
Next up is
Yeah.
me, Bob Q.
Moving on to
The Bog Q.
Q himself.
do you want to go first over your own team, or do you want us to talk before you?
Yeah, I guess I can. I'll just say a little bit. Like going into it, because I was placed I think like 12th or 13th. That Garchomp would probably be available. Like I drafted Garchomp in the past, and it was a great split. I wanted to bring that back. And then after that, Victini was there, and I like Victini even though I never used it. And then Bulu, even though it's like counter synergy, just a mon I wanted to use. And then the rest of it's just like stuff that I've had that I think is good and fits well with the team.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
I was looking at your team, and much like we were talking about with other people, it's a very you team, and that's solely because I see a Miltank and an Umbreon, and I'm tempted to throw Girder in there because your Girder last split was
Oh my
God.
yeah, dude. That whole thing is a tank.
It is.
But I think for you, the thing that's most scary is that I think you have a lot of great defensive options here. And with a lot of them, they have that potential to not be a tank, like Rotom Wash, Mega Scizor, and Gorgeist or Gorgeist, however you pronounce it. I think those three all have legitimate offensive threats. So when you're prepping against you always have to be careful that maybe it's not a pivot Rotom Wash, it's a choice spec Rotom Wash, and then you just get fucked over by a Hydro Pump. But even if all those Pokemon are defensive, Garchomp, Victini, Tapu Bulu is such a good core three in my mind. Like I just think that they complement each other really well in terms of who they can take out. So yeah, I'm really high up on your draft. I do want to know, because you got excited about Electivire. If you can share, I want to know why Electivire 10th.
I guess there's not like a secret set per se, but it's just a mon that I think has been really underrated. It's got like an amazing move pool. Like its move pool is really crazy. It has decent stats where you can run both physical and special. And it has a decent ability too. Specifically, like if I have anyone that's coming in trying to, because there's a couple teams out there. Like I was thinking specifically of Nando. If like Nando is bringing in like Regieleki, or I guess Salvage because of Coco and Zergatry, I can just send in that, take like get the motor drive, and then do a ton of damage in return.
Mm.
I think
Motor
the
drive is a very good ability.
yeah, I think the best set would probably just be a Scarf set though, or a Band, or even Specs. But like a move, like a restricting item that just powers up one move or
Mm.
stat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
I
think it
mean,
was a very complicated draft.
That's fair.
I mean, obviously I like this team because it has Mega Caesar. But the other thing I will say is I think Umbreon, Gorgeist, and Miltank are a really underrated defensive core that you have that are really good value for how many points they cost. It can
Yeah,
definitely shut down a lot of things. So that's something else I like. I think the only thing that I would knock your draft for is I wish you had like one like dedicated special attacker
hmm
because pretty much all of your attackers are physical. Like you can run special on Victini and Rotom can kind of be a special attacker, but it's not what they're like built to do either. And I felt that was something a problem I ran into last split was my draft was too physical. And then
yeah.
I had to play Nando twice, who had double and Buzzwall. And I got frustrated. But you have ways around that. So
I
overall, I
100%
like this
agree with
draft.
you. I have like the lowest, I think, special attack in the entire draft, which is not the greatest title to have. That's something I've been looking at with potentially dropping Armaldo or even Gorgeist, even though I love Gorgeist. It's just you don't get a lot of quality special attackers in the low tiers. But we'll see what happens. Like you said, I hope I can find a way around it. But I don't know. Split's just beginning.
That's true.
I love that if you just look at the first 6 Mons you drafted, that's like a really solid team. And you can just sub in the guys in the bottom, but like looking at those 6 top guys, that's a nightmare of a team to deal with.
Yeah, I think I
So
got really lucky.
For sure.
I think
Yeah.
certain things fell. Like Rotom Wash in the 5th round is probably like
especially now because it's OUB, right?
Yeah, which is something for the record I fought against. I voted for it to stay OUA, and everyone else said it should be OUB. But
Well, good you took it then.
Yeah.
Get that threat off our streets, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I think Zach kind of touched on it, but like the Miltank, Borgeist, and Girder, like those are my 3 favorite mons to have. Like that, I feel like those things can do so much. They're so much fun to use. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, I would say in terms of grading your team, I think I'm gonna go with a solid. I think I'm gonna go with a B plus. And I think I would move that up more because your defensive core is so solid if you had a special attacker.
Yeah, I agree.
I would also say B plus.
I'm gonna go with an A minus. I just really like that core 6 you have there.
Yeah, I think like having Nasty Pond and Rotomosh is definitely helpful, but the team, like, yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of physically stacked teams against me, so I gotta definitely team build right, or else it's gonna be rough. But I guess moving on to Salvi.
Okay, wait. I'm really sorry. Wait,
Oh, yeah.
sorry. My mom walked in as I was happening. What did you guys all give Quinn? Sorry, my mom was talking to me.
I give him a B plus.
Okay.
I said A minus.
Okay, and then Quinn, what'd you give yourself?
Oh, I would just go with D plus too. I think that's really fair.
Okay.
For Salvi, I like elements of Salvi's draft. I like Coco and Circuitry. I like Barraskewda. But I think, Zach, you probably know a little more than us, right?
Yeah. Also like it. I like. It's got a fast team,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
which
hope
I
that
think is
BST.
good. Yeah. I'm not as huge of a fan of Coco Circuitry as I am of Coco Alolan Raichu, because you're using 2
Is that on the team?
OUA picks. No, well, I'm just
Oh.
saying he could have drafted it instead.
Oh, I see.
And this way you're using 2 of your OUA picks on electric types, which is a little bit redundant, but
Yeah.
I think it's all right still. And just like all of like his top draft for sure is very hyper offense, which is, I don't know, I feel like it can be like easy to play and also hard to play. So I'm not sure which way that will serve him.
Yeah. Oh.
I feel like he did get some good quality bulk though in the back end of his draft, kind of similar to your Core Quinn.
Hmm.
Just like solid bulk for not a lot of points, because Porygon 2 and Palisand I think pair pretty well together.
Yeah, I'd like to see Duraludon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing about this draft is I was looking at it, and my only question is why isn't there? And obviously, I know it's because they're not there. But how much better would this team be if it had rain? Because Duraludon
Wait, say
benefits
that again,
because
Hunter?
no fun.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
If this team had a rain setter,
Yeah.
Coco benefits, Barraskewda benefits, Zergtree benefits, Fortress benefits, Duraludon benefits, Palossand hugely benefits from it, Tangela benefits from it.
How does
Like,
Palisand benefit from
Oh,
it?
wait.
it gets the move soak up. And
Oh, is that
if you're in if it's like raining, or it's not soak up, shore up. And if
Shore Up is for
oh, it's a
That's for
sandstorm. Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, well, points. I guess what I'm saying, minus that.
I mean,
I feel like
it has
water would
water
help this
compaction, which your defense is raised if you're hit by water type move. But you
But you're
probably
still
would
hit
get
by the water
killed.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must have messed those in my head. But still, I think water would have helped this team a lot. But I don't know.
Dude,
It's good.
if water compaction was like an absorbing ability instead of just a
It'd be so
like
good.
trash ability, Palisand would be actually like, not that I think it is really good for the price, but it
Yeah,
would
Cal
be
was
much
talking
better.
much positive praise of it. I don't. I mean, there's a couple things I don't like, and I don't know if Mega Aerodactyl needed to be picked that high.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the back half of the draft might be a little almost too defensive. Because some of those mons are pretty easy to get set up on, and may not, and like they're bulky, but not like bulky to the point where they can tank everything. So I guess that would be my concern.
That is true. I mentioned to him I thought Mega Aerodactyl was a good value Mega OUB because it gets Dragon Dance, but that because it hadn't gotten moved up, people might be drafting it early. So I think that's part of the reason why he went
That's
for it
fair.
early.
I think Ben might have been going for it, but I think he was waiting a lot later.
I think he had it like 8th round or something like that, which is
Yeah.
pretty
Mhm.
rare.
Yeah, like everyone has their own priorities differently. Like Amphibomb, I think that'll be really fun to see. Like I love these like really fast normal types. Those are so much fun. And Shinosino, did someone draft Shinosino? Shinosino. No, I guess not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think overall I'd probably give it like C plus B minus.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair. I'll join. I would go with a B minus. I don't know if it's joining you. That's what I would go with. It's got elements, but
Espo, Zach.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have to stick with the B minus.
And then Zach.
Probably go with a B. I guess something else that I like is if you look at his weaknesses, he covered them really well. He only has 2 times 4, I think.
Yeah, he was
He has
someone else who had a
immunity
really
to
good
both of those.
weakness setup.
So I'll also say that for him. I would be a lot higher on this team if there wasn't the redundancy of Zergatry and Tapu Koko.
Do you think he's gonna make a waiver?
Possibly. I
feel
would have
like-
to look at what other OUAs or decent things there are that he could get.
I've heard some whispers that the villains might be trying to orchestrate some things with their waivers regarding this team in particular.
Really?
Yes. We'll see what happens, though.
Interesting.
I kind of hope he does whatever he wants. I don't want him listening. I guess then moving on to Jasper and the Chicken Persimmons. Another pretty fantastic name. Disappointing that there is no Persimmon, though, on the team. I like this draft. I think, actually, Zach, go ahead. You probably know more again.
Okay. Yeah, I do think it's good. I think he drafted stuff that he likes and has used before to an extent. So like Reuniclus, Kangaskhan, and Volcarona, I know are ones that he likes. And he also has some that he hasn't used before, like Minior and Ninetales are 2 that are just a little bit more maybe like nuanced, I would say, in how you play them. So I'm interested to see how he does with those.
For sure. Oh, he is a Scavalier. I didn't know that was drafted.
I do like his Cavalier. I think it's.
I think it works really well with I don't even know how to pronounce it. Reuniclus.
Yeah.
If he sets up Trick Room, then he can just Scavalier can wreck things
Oh, that's
because
a good
it's
point.
high attack.
I didn't even think about that.
I guess he's got some really fast ones, and he's also got that. I think I guess something to take into account is I was just looking at the BST, and I think he is the lowest out of any team. Which I don't think BST is a for sure indicator of like how good a team is, but it's definitely something to think about. And beyond that, he has a couple of big weaknesses. I think he's got times 8 weaknesses to fire, flying, and then 16 to rock, with not a lot of mons that can like eat those up by themselves. But on the flip side, I really like Mega Kangaskhan. Like really like Mega Kangaskhan.
It's a good mod.
I think it's the best Mega in the pool.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than Metagross.
Well, in the pool, we lost. Pour one out.
Oh, right. I forgot Metagross got banned again.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see Braylon again. It's been a while, and Minior too. It's been kind of long.
Dude, Braylon was on Mike's team last split.
Oh, it was? Jesus.
Yeah.
What am I saying? How did I do?
Well.
I just remember Patrick having Braylon back in I think it was the split he won, and he just like played it really well. He had like a crazy team then. Yeah, I like the Ninjas, even though he sets his team up for like more rock damage. I still like it.
Yeah, I didn't know Ninjask was NU. I mean, it makes sense, but like with speed boost, I would assume that someone was scared of it and randomly had it in RU. But
No, I don't think it's been drafted in hot sec either.
That's funny that that's what you remember Breloom for, Quinn, because my memory of Breloom is Ryan Snell using it to back sweep Patrick because he didn't understand Sleep Clause.
Oh,
his first ever split. Because he didn't understand that not all of his Pokemon could be put to sleep. So Braylon would just put something to sleep and then kill it, and he'd send the next thing and then put it to sleep and kill it. And he didn't understand that he could switch out one of his asleep Pokemon and it wouldn't be able to put another one to sleep.
Patrick learned from that day. He came back better, stronger. That's a great story.
But That's damn.
But back to Jasper's draft. I feel like he could have picked something better than Ninjask, even though I know it's only a NU.
I would love to see
My
something that's like rock resistant.
yeah, and my other thing with this draft, and sorry, I don't know if this got brought up. I had to move. But I feel like barring like if you're running Breloom purely for technician and maybe Mega Kangaskhan, I feel like most of this team's damage takes some kind of setup to get there. Like you need a Quiver Dance or two on Volcarona. You need a substitute on Breloom. Reuniclus needs some Calm Minds. Minior, I'm not super familiar with, but
It needs to show.
You need the Shell Smash. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was looking up. I think the only thing on this team that can hit hard with literally no setup is Mega Kangaskhan and Ninetales Alola.
Well,
And like I know,
to a certain
here,
extent, I agree, but I also Dusknoir has underrated attack. That thing actually hits pretty hard.
does it? Okay.
Yeah. And then Escavalier also has pretty solid attack. And then there's Volcarona. Volcarona hits hard. Even though you can Quiver Dance, like you don't need to.
That's fair.
But I see what you're saying. It does require like some element of like forethought.
I am a little worried about South Rock though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has Don Fan, which is like one of the mons I think of when I think of like Rapid Spin. But still, that's only one mon.
Yeah, does he have any other form of hazard clear? I think
He's
Volt
Ninja
gets
and
debuff.
Volcarona. But
Okay.
you have to put boots on them if you want them to be a defogger,
Yeah.
which I like that really limits how much they can do.
I think both of them would be not great fits for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And just knowing that there's probably going to be a Dawn fan on the other side every game, I feel like will help with prep so much.
Yeah.
But
Even if it is, it's still gonna be a big miss. I would probably put it B minus, C plus again, similar to Solly.
I'd probably say B minus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go B minus as well.
well, that is exactly what I was going to say. So I think for the first time we're all in exact unison. I don't think we've actually had that yet.
What are we, 15 teams in?
Yeah, no, we haven't. We haven't had one that we were all the same. Crazy.
Alright, next
Right.
the PPs. Ethan Porter.
All right.
PPs.
I just gotta say that a certain source told me that the way this draft came together was that the villains all told Ethan the Pokemon that they didn't want to play against and had him draft them. And that's how this team came together.
The villains
That
were
makes
afraid of
is
Mega Pidgeot? That's what they were
so
afraid
funny.
of?
Well, probably not Pidgeot, but I definitely see it for the first like
Yeah, I agree.
5 picks at least. Like
Yeah. And what's annoying about it is that I actually, while it's not like an optimal core, right? It kind of works. Gliscor.
It's just gonna take forever to beat it. Like,
yeah.
Like-
You're gonna
planning for that's gonna be such a headache. But
for sure.
yeah.
It's actually really well put together, and that's what I hate the most. Like, its weaknesses are like really well covered. And I like hate
And
it
you can
because of what it represents, but it's not like it's not poorly planned.
no, it'll work. I also think that Carbink or Carbine, however you pronounce it, that little shit, I think that thing might cause some damages. The rock fairy typing with sturdy is really weird, but it just means you get like free screens set up. And does this team need them? No, but I feel like that's just salt in the wound.
Yeah, I
if he finds
agree.
some way to make it work.
I do
But
think though that it does no damage, and people say it like I hate this. People are always like Ditto is like the way on stall teams to like circumvent not having any damage, but like Ditto is really easy to play around if you just know it's on the other team. And I don't think it's gonna be enough by itself. And like I don't know, like make a Pidgeot to do damage. Honestly, you just need to bring Substitute, and Substitute beats this team.
Yeah.
That is pretty true for the most part. If you can get something with substitute that can set
Does
up
he?
comfortably.
Yeah.
I do think though
I-
that, or sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the other thing that I think this team will really struggle against is, along with substitute, anything that can interrupt stall effectively. Like if you have like a yawn or like a taunt, like a prankster taunt, like an encore, any move that messes up the flow of this team, that's a free switch, and that gives you that opportunity to switch into a sleeper, hope he misreads, and then you get your free substitute off, and then it's kind of off to the races for you. Like I feel like this team falls apart at the slightest. One good play could make this entire team fall apart. I feel like, but maybe that's just me.
I agree. I think something really fun that Ethan, just based off prior experience, is that he likes to run like unorthodox things. So I'm gonna like honestly though, as much as his first five is like really stally, you can run like pretty good offensive sets with all of them.
Yeah.
And I think if he does that, he's definitely gonna catch some people sleeping on it.
That's fair.
I think overall, I'd
Do
probably.
you think there's any chance that he ends up trading these things out to the other villains?
I want to put it past him, but like I don't think these are like mons that are like really fun to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would,
I just I imagine this game, like if you don't prep well for it, this game could go on for more than 80 turns,
yeah,
like easily.
this the Jasper Ethan battle will definitely be a good one, and I'm looking forward
I
to
cannot
it.
wait.
There's bad blood, and it needs to be spilled.
They had a battle, or Espo and Henry. I don't know if you know, but they had one battle that it was so long the replay just stopped working after like the 160th turn or somewhere around there.
Oh my
It
god.
was ridiculous. So
Damn.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
It's gonna be great. I would probably give the draft like a B plus. Like I don't like it, but it's really well thought out and doesn't have a lot of huge holes. And I think Ethan's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Ethan's gonna do something.
I'd probably go C plus for this one.
Interesting. I was gonna go more middle ground. I was gonna give it a 3. I think it has just enough potential.
Yeah.
Or, sorry. I'm sorry. In the spreadsheet, I'm in. I can't yell because my family's asleep, but I promise it makes sense.
I'm changing mine to a 3-2. I like that.
Okay. Let me explain. It's because in the spreadsheet, when I'm marking your guys' answer, I'm doing it using the grade point average, so that at the end we can see what the average score of all the teams is. And so a B is a 3. So I'm giving a B. But in my notes,
so
it's a
funny.
3.
That's so
Bird, I'll give him a B minus.
A B minus. Okay, it's a 2.7 if you wanted to know.
Wait, is it
but-
B minus a 2.7?
okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. I looked it up.
That's
It's a
disheartening.
it rounds to 2.7.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow, that explains a lot.
All right.
Ben. I like Ben's
The wrong
draft.
songs.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's got a lot of good mons that don't really have a lot of bulk besides like 2. But overall, like,
Hello?
oh, hello?
You there, Bird?
Did we lose him? Maybe he's on a
Possibly.
phone.
Yeah, he might have muted himself while like his mom called down or something.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Nope.
um,
Oh, he's back.
There we go. Sorry, all of you guys cut out for a second, so I had
no
to leave
worries.
the room and come back. But we're on Ben, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I need to look at his weaknesses real quick.
Yeah, I like his team. The one thing that I think is a bit worrying is that I think the only Pokemon that feels good to run defensive is Milotic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Stantler. I don't. He was really happy about Stantler, and I don't know why. I don't
I
know how
think he
you
gets
use it.
Intimidate, if I remember correctly.
But like Excadrill doesn't feel too good running defensive. I'm assuming I really want him to pull out the set that I used against him last split, where I ran Cotton Guard Whimsicott, because I think that is low key a busted set if you use it right. It stalled out his team and got me a win, so I think he could do that. But other than that, he has like no defense here. Conquador has some health, but like numbers bad. I feel like just on a face test, it doesn't
Yeah,
look
Conkeldurr,
too promising.
if he running that defensively, that's not good.
Yeah, he has the lowest defense in the league at 76. The next lowest looks like it's 87. No, 85 is the next
Jeez,
lowest. So
yeah,
he's
you're
like
right.
a 10 down
Pretty low.
on defense.
That is really low.
And like you said, Bird, he doesn't, or I guess adding on to that, he doesn't have a lot of great things with recovery. So like even some of these things that are bulkier are gonna get worn down. Like Moltres obnoxiously doesn't get roost, so it's
Well,
gonna
that's
get
going to
worn
hinge
down.
on Megaladios.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Why?
Just because it's that with Melodic are the two things that get the recovery, as well as just being bulky enough to like take hits.
Yeah, I guess he could run Latios defensively. I guess Milotic and Latios works, but again, I feel like it's the same problem of like I feel like I feel like to have good defensive bulk, I feel so much better having 2 or 3, preferably 3, because then that way people can't just know prep for every single time. I feel
Yeah.
like knowing at least one Pokemon that their guy's bringing just makes your prep so much easier.
I
And
agree.
knowing that Milotic, it's at least Milotic or Latios will have to be there every game for this team to work, preferably both.
I think similar to like some of the other teams we've talked about, like it's gonna require like a turn or two where he has to make sure he's still not about to lose just off a sweep. Of just one
Yeah.
thing setting up and running through everything else. Because even how many his team? How fast is this team? Besides
92,
it's second fastest.
which
Okay, that's
yeah,
good for him. Then.
only one goes faster than him, I think.
Yeah, who's Bison? Yep, nice. Yeah, I mean,
Oh no, yeah, not Tyson. Yeah, my bad.
I don't know. I feel like this falls into the same category as like a lot of the earlier teams, where like they're solid, but they have some pretty obvious holes. But there's like ways to work around it, I guess, if you're just being really aggressive.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think Ben needs to play aggressive but smart. Like I think if he ever lets his foot off of the gas in a game, it just allows the other team to get one Dragon Dance off, one good Thunder on a Milotic or whatever, and then this entire team starts to fall apart, and then you start needing to like try to predict reads and stuff to swap out, and then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Final thoughts before letter or just letter?
This isn't really a knock, but this team, to me, it's like a very good in randoms team. Like specifically because they can Dynamax. Like Excadrill
Yeah,
and Gyarados are both monsters because of Dynamax. Same
kind of to a lesser extent with Moltres.
Mhm.
I
Hasn't
will.
seen anything, but
I was gonna say. Oh, sorry.
no,
Sorry.
just an observation. Go ahead.
I think my last thought before we give votes is that on Gyarados, I do think Gyarados is slept on a bit. Do you have to use heavy duty boots? Yeah. Does that hurt? Yeah. But you can still run a substitute Dragon Dance set where you're getting Earthquake, Waterfall, and Grass, and whatever. What's the power whip? Power whip.
I
Like,
think Ben has some pretty powerful hazard control though. You might not even need to really.
I don't think he has to run boots, dude.
he doesn't. Yeah, he does have between Rapid Spin and. I don't think Moltres Scour gets defogged though, does it? Or does it?
Even if it doesn't,
I would
hope so,
Megaladios is
but-
like a good option.
Megaladios
Yeah, it doesn't.
support, but
Yeah.
I don't know why he drafted Gyarados so high up. I feel like
I think
he could have got it. later.
Moltres does not get defog. It looks like Moltres
No.
Galar. I could be.
And-
Wait.
Conkeldurr and Whimsicott though. I forgot about Conkeldurr. Of course it does. Girder's big brother. Yeah, I'd probably give it a B. Similar to those rigid or first couple ones.
yeah.
I'd
Zach,
probably say B as well.
Espo.
I'm gonna stay with a B.
I'm also gonna go with a B. So that's two now that we've had that we're on the same page.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Let's think alike.
Dude, Dan's draft confuses me. Not that I think it's bad, but like he picked Skarmory second.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that was probably a bit of a reach. But overall, I do like this draft.
I do like the draft.
it reminds me of like a Dan draft, even though I don't think he's drafted any of these before. Except like maybe Manaphy.
I think he might have drafted Manaphy before,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm making that up.
No, I think
I'm
you're
sure.
right. I still.
He's definitely drafted Granbull before.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's like
That's
the most.
insane.
Yeah.
Keeps him on.
It's pretty good with the BST. It has the highest attack out of all the teams. Pretty low defense.
Special attack's really low. Besides the one Hoopa U.
Yeah.
But you can run Zero Aura special attack, and I still think it's viable.
Florgus also.
Okay, so
And Manaphy.
Yeah.
Manaphy's definitely special attack with the what's it called, Tail Glow.
Zelda. Yeah, I think there's options.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's not like super bulky, but there's like a couple mons that can do the job well enough. And Skarmory and Florgus.
Yeah. I also think Delmise is a little slept on because it gets rapid spin.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
It hits hard.
and
While blocking rapid spin.
yeah, and its signature move, Anchor Shot, blocks you. So I feel like there's some shenanigans that you can play around with Delmise. But do I think it's like amazing? No, but I think it's an example. I think it's a pretty good late game pick or late draft pick.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I think I like his team. I think he's gonna do well. Unfortunately, he's a villain. Yeah, and his team hits hard. Like even his defensive mons hit hard. And I like that. I think Seeking's interesting. I don't think it's ever been drafted before.
no, it does get Swords Dance. But
What's the ability?
It's Thunder
uh,
or Lightning Rod or whatever it is.
or you can get Swift Swim.
Yeah.
Like
68 speed. That's not. I don't know.
I don't think he would be
Yeah, it's
using it
not-
as like an offensive mon.
I don't
Yeah.
think you would. But it'd be funny if you would.
I think he could use it. Maybe like a bulky flip turner. I don't know. I'm excited to see what he does. I'd probably rate this one of the higher ones, to be honest, out of all the ones we've looked at. I'd probably put
Tend to
like B
agree.
plus A minus. I think Florgus.
I think I'd go.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I think I'd go A minus. I'm probably a little biased because I've had some of these mons and done well with them, like Manaphy, Mega Pinsir, and Mienshao. But I think these are all like good, versatile attackers that.
Also, I think Crocodile is one of the best choice scarfers out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He got pretty late.
I'll bump
Moxie
mine up
is
to an A-
very
for sure.
fun.
You convinced me.
I think seTKEion is pretty weak. I wish he would have drafted
Yeah.
more usable.
Does he need? No, he doesn't really need a water
But-
type even, does he?
No, he has Manaphy,
Yeah. Still,
but he's fine.
I'm excited.
But that's really the only like big knock I would have against this team. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Espo, do you know what you're gonna do or no?
I'd probably give him a B plus. I'd probably say he's comparable to Cal. That's what I gave Cal, I think. So
Yeah, I was back and forth, but I just remembered I gave Cal an A minus, and if I gave Cal an A minus, I need to give this team an A minus. It's very fair.
Take a look at his weaknesses just to. Oh, he has really good weaknesses. Yeah, I'm sticking with it.
I stand by what I said.
Does he really? Tough.
All right. Last but certainly not least, our own Henry Bird
Woo.
with the wheel pick.
What do you guys want to go first,
Nah,
or do you want me to talk
tell
first?
us your thoughts. Tell us your thoughts.
Tell us thoughts. So I got my top 5. So I'm really satisfied with the top half of the draft. I don't know how Patty got Tapu Lele and Alakazam, Mega Alakazam last year, and then struggled with it. Like I don't really know how that happened. I've been running a lot of Lele Ala on the Natdex ladder and the OU ladder, and I think it always just has that potential to just win you a game. Which, like, when you're not a good battler, like I am, it's really nice to have that instant out of just like if they mess up, you just put in the Tapu Lele with Terrain Extender, you throw in Alakazam Wonder Guard Sash, hit him with a nasty plot, and then it has a base 372 speed. So as long as you outspeed everyone else, there's a chance that Ala can just win you a game off of that. I think that's huge. I think Blessy Corviknight is a great defensive core, and if for whatever reason Corviknight doesn't work, Salamence is slept on. Zach, as you probably remember from when I ran Wish Salamence 2 splits
Is
ago.
that a real thing?
One of my favorite sets of ever played. I love that. And then as we got further into the draft, I've kind of felt like things didn't go as well. Not all over the place. Heracross I really wanted, but I really wanted Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee should have been there over for Alligator. Because of the Psychic Seed shenanigans you can pull with it. But I'm satisfied with the Croc. Dragalage is a shitty replacement for Tentacruel. Another slept on Mon. Its base special defense is 125. So even though I have Blissey, it's cool to be able to know that I could also pick Dragalage, run an Assault Vest on it, and then just murder people with adaptability. Because that 2.0 stat bonus is huge. But the real L of this team is the Mega Camerupt. I surprised, which it's really sad to say, because I actually think I can make it work at some point. Its only big weakness is water. It's 8 times weak to water, 4 times weak to ground, which is like, or 2 times weak to ground, 4 times weak to water.
I was like, how could a bond
Yeah,
be eight?
sorry. I don't know why, but like that's not good at all. But between Wish with Blissey and its natural defense and its ability just to tank most hits, I think it can be a Mega Aggron Light. And I can probably throw it in for a team where I know that there's a mod that it will just murder, and I'm gonna do it then. But that's whatever. And then Cryogonal, Espo, that was a great suggestion. Espo helped me out with this draft. That was a great suggestion. Rapid Spinner, just solid. And then Shuckle, because Shuckle needed to be there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be able to set up webs, which means that I can run Salamence and Heracross with double Moxie way easier because I can choice Scarf Heracross if I want to. Or if I get webs down, maybe I can choice Bandit and just kind of go for the best, just depending on the team. And
For
it shuts down stall.
uh,
Very well. So I don't know about the choice band and Heracross. I just kind of thought about that as we looked at it.
you
But
can do
that's what I
guts
think
too.
about my team. Yeah, and it has guts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I like it. I think
I'm satisfied.
yeah. I think I like what you. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the first half of it is like really strong, and then like as picks get sniped, it's like harder to keep track of what's going on. I like for alligator. I know. I don't know if I think some people have like kind of tired or soured on it as splits have gone on, like more mods have been introduced. But I still think it hits really hard. And there's ways to like speed it up to the point where it can just sweep things. I like that. Um, I think the one thing I don't like, even though I understand why you did it, is like you said, the mega camera up. And the only reason I say that is because your defensive core is basically your the core of your team is going to be Blissey Corviknight, and both of them take damage from like fighting type mons that like even though Corviknight's physically defensive, you're still going to take heavy damage probably. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Mega Bayonet would have been a really good addition, just because you throw in that unpredictability of like, can they actually, first of all, like do the fighting type move, but also it gives you a lot of different like options for just like being mischievous. You can like Willow Wisp, Destiny Bomb, like knock off, and also it has I think
It's
like 165
Prankster.
attack. Yeah, that's
It
Prankster
is
too.
Prankster.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Will-O-Wisp, which is not a combination you see very often.
yeah. But although, like you said, your team isn't weak to water. Like if someone's bringing water specifically for making a camera up, do you have ways to make them pay for it? So I like it.
My favorite thing about it is he's got two really bulky mons in Blissey and Corviknight. And they both, well, Blissey has teleport and Corviknight has U-turn. So it's basically just free setups for everything that hits hard.
That's true. I forgot about
So
teleport.
true. I didn't think of that. I do like Blissey Corviknight. I agree with what Quinn said because I don't think a Mega Camrupt is good. But you can prove me wrong. So there's always that. I like Cryogonal. I think that's a good pick. I like the webs with your team too. I think there's a lot of things on here. Lele also really likes webs. So that 95 speed is just a tad slow sometimes. But yeah, overall good, except for my camera.
I'm really tempted just to hold on to him all season and just like once I'm already out, you know, once it's like once we've reached that point where my
Spirit bird.
false hope doesn't matter anymore. I might just devise an entire set around a sweeping Mega Camerupt, and then I'll get rid of it for Mega Bayonet after it doesn't
Why?
But you're a
matter.
hero.
Why wait?
No, I know.
Why wait?
No, I mean, when are waivers allowed? Because now that we've talked about it, I do think that's actually a pretty
After week
solid.
one, you can do it. I did one
Okay.
week two. Here.
Yeah, you could do
Okay, well,
it after week one.
I'll have to go. I was gonna say I have to clap Cal's cheeks week one, and then
Yeah, give it a
I'll
shot.
get
Just
Mega
give it a
Bayonet.
shot and see what happens. Because you're gonna have bigger
Yeah,
camera up on your team no matter what week one. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting just looking at this team. I'm not gonna actually. I'll stop saying things. Yeah, I think one thing just to be conscious of is just be careful of people trying to set up on like Cryogonal and Shuckle, and I guess Wesley too, because those things don't really have a lot of ways to punish that.
yeah. That's definitely one thing that I'm a bit worried about is that I think that my team is like, I think I can shift momentum well between like U-turn and teleport, between like my core defense, but I think that I don't know. I don't really have a lot of middle ground. You know, I feel like my team is either like just I'm gonna kill you right now, or it's like I can't hit you at all. So I do think that like a Mega Bayonet pickup or like just playing around that is gonna be smart. I do like that I can play around hazard control. That's the one thing I like about this team because if I need to stall with Blissey, I can throw stealth rocks up and kind of do the thing there. So yeah, I don't
Yeah, you
know.
do get some solid options.
Heracross gets spikes now too.
It does.
I always forget. That's a nice little extra.
Yeah, that might be a solid way. Just hazard stacking. Then you like get the Moxie suite from Salamence or Buoyant Bandit like Aqua Jet or something like that from Feraligatr. Yeah, I like it.
Just for Alligator, get Dragon Dance.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
That could be
It gets
busted.
Dragon Dance, and you can do Life Orb Sheer Force with it.
You also get Sword Stance too.
And yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm really excited for Feraligatr.
I'll try not to disappoint.
I think
Well,
I'll probably give it like a B. I like it. I think there's like obviously like some issues, but you know what they are.
Go B minus, but I would definitely give you a B if you had Bayonet instead of Camerupt.
interesting.
Not to be
Uh,
of course.
Zach, what do you want him to do?
Can you tell me again? Espo?
I'll give you a B plus.
Interesting. That's higher than I deserve. But I'm gonna give myself a B. I have a draft that seems pretty solid, but isn't amazing by any stretch.
Compared to your last draft, I think this is exponential.
Leaps and bounds better, but that's I got a little bit of help there, so that's nice. Okay, and then give me 1 second. If you guys are interested in it right now, I'm about to set up to figure out who we thought was mathematically the best. At least I think. Can you do a filter, Espo, so that it goes from right to left, or does it have to go top down? Or does anyone else here know? I don't know how sheets work.
Are you
I
trying to just sort it by like highest average?
Oh, there should be a way to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the code is?
do the data filter going up down, Bert. It should do the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know how to copy paste it over to go up down because it's right to left right now. I'm
Filter
what?
go. Have the filter go up down. Like have the filter be all in A. When you make the filter, you make it in row A, or not column A, and it should have all of them there.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sharing this with someone if we're interested in this. I don't know why I volunteered for this when I have no idea how spreadsheets work. I shared it with Espo because I have your email and Zach because I have your email right away. If you guys know what you're doing.
I have not checked my U of M email in
Many
quite some
moons.
time, so,
Okay. Well,
You
I'm
still have
assuming
access.
that yeah, you get
There's-
access. You get access till you die.
Oh, what? That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I had people at Barnes and Noble, and they would sign up for their emails. They would use their old UMN emails.
Oh,
It was
that's
great.
smart.
It was cool. The one thing I will say while Espo helps me do things with numbers, is that we were all very close in terms of like our average grade given out, like way more than I thought we were. Quinn, you were the lowest with a 2.96, so like just a bit under a B. And then Zach was a 2.99. I suppose a 3.03, and I was the highest at 3.1. So we were
CLA.
all like, what? CLA? Oh my God.
That's interesting.
So what numbers do you want to organize, Brett? These ones at the bottom here?
Yeah, the averages. I was thinking we could figure out like who did the best in terms of like our averages. Like I'm sure we know pretty
The bottom.
quickly. What?
What's this stuff like here?
Oh, that's the same numbers as up top.
Oh, is it?
I just
Okay.
copy and paste them down.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I think we were definitely really nice, like to everyone.
Yeah, we didn't rip on anyone too bad.
The villains are about to show up and they're about to take our drafts and just murder them,
No,
murder all our hopes and dreams.
I like based off prior conversations I've had. I'm sure everyone believes that they have the definitive say so on how bad everyone else is.
Luckily
I
for me,
just-
I have no draft.
That's where you're wrong, Zach.
Brett, it says you already have a filter on.
Oh, it's right here. Oops.
Can I turn that off?
Yeah, I don't know how you turn it off.
Huh, that's interesting. Neither of the Lotties were drafted.
Oh,
I don't know if they were like.
someone was
But
telling me
both
that
of
they
them.
would be drafted like really high this foot.
I feel like usually they're always like really high or like way late or don't go at all.
I think
Mm,
that's right. Yeah, that's accurate.
There we go. I deleted it.
I did that.
Oh. Well, it said delete on the top, and so I hit delete.
Bobby didn't draft Entei this split.
I
Either.
know. I know.
Nobody did.
Huh.
Over to you.
There's some good stuff left here. There's not. I was just looking if I was gonna make a draft.
Oh,
Aegis
Brett, you can't
Slash,
make it side sheets.
Oh, so are we kind of screwed?
Yeah,
Okay,
Unless
well,
you-
maybe.
annually.
Can you just
Yeah.
give us like the top three maybe?
Yeah. I think Tickle ends up being number one by kind of. No, he doesn't. Interesting.
I think Dan would end up number one, right? If I remember.
Yeah, so Dan is number one with 3.6. So like a solid A, like an A minus roughly. And
I guess A
then
minus is a 3.67.
yeah, and then after that is a tie between the Nido Kings and the Tailblazers at 3.4. And then Tickle comes up next at 3.3 for fourth. And then the last one looks to be a tie between the Durants and the Dark Rise at 3.15. Or no, the Mawwiles. Sorry, excuse me. I missed the Mawwiles. Mawwiles are fifth at 3.3.
Nice.
So yeah. And then if we want to talk about it, the lowest ones are the
I think Nando and Pat.
yeah, Nando, Pat, and the Weaviles are all down at or the Weaviles are a bit higher.
I think we
How
got
did-
nice as we went.
Yeah, we definitely did get nicer.
Yeah, we did.
The Torpedoes have an average of a 2.2.
Pretty low.
And the Washingtons are 2.1 versus the Persians are 2.8, the Pessimians are 2.7, and the Halichas are 2.8 once you do rounding. And yeah, I definitely think that their drafts are like. Well, also, I think we should have clarified if we were just doing draft or if we were doing draft and manager. Because I think if you include that Nando is the manager, that changes that a bit.
Oh, I was just looking at people's drafts. I wasn't considering who's.
Yeah, I think we went with how we felt, and like we definitely felt nicer as time went on. But I mean,
That's very true.
as long as that point is pushed, I don't know. Here's what we think. Deal with it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Unless you guys have anything else to add, I feel like we got it all pretty nicely.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I'm looking forward to watching week 1.
I'll pull out the dub for you, Zach. I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna try my best
10
to
wait.
defeat the uncool building.
Yeah, I can't having against Tickle.
That is going to be a good match.
I think you got the tools.
Yeah. There's a couple holes I need to fill, but I'll try and figure it out.
All right, I'm just gonna end the recording.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And good luck, heroes. I hope you
Let's
Yeah.
go.
fail, villains.